Frizz has got to be one of the biggest frustrations of wavy hair. And if you feel like you have tried absolutely everything and nothing has worked, I feel your pain, but there is probably a reason for that. Not all frizz is the same. So today I want to break down 5 different types of frizz, how to recognise them, and what to do differently for each one. Because most people, myself included, are dealing with more than one type of frizz. Frizz type number 1, dryness. Wavy hair naturally struggles with moisture. The natural S-bend in our hair means that our cuticles are more lifted, making our hair less efficient at retaining moisture. It's also more difficult for natural oil that's produced by our scalp to travel all the way down the length of our hair. Plus, over time, as we age, we are producing less of that natural oil, so we have less protection to our hair. All of this means that wavy hair, particularly as we get older, tends to get drier. How to identify it? This is the kind of frizz that tends to show up through your mid-lengths and particularly your ends, where your hair is oldest. Your hair might just feel slightly rough to the touch, perhaps be a little bit more on the dull side, and also tends to tangle quite easily. Solution. The biggest shift that you can make for this type of frizz is not about adding yet more moisture, but actually helping your hair to hold onto it. So a technique that works really well is product layering. And don't worry, I'm not talking about 10 different products, just 2. Apply a lightweight leave-in conditioner on wet hair and then follow it up with something like an oil or a serum to help seal and smooth the cuticles. This will really help to lock the moisture into your hair. That combination of products will make an instant and noticeable difference to how soft your waves look and feel, and also how shiny they are. And long term, I've found that introducing regular protein treatments to help give structure and elasticity, and then deeply nourishing and conditioning masks really help the overall condition of my hair. So you're not constantly fighting dryness every single wash routine. Frizz type number 2, technique frizz. This type of frizz is caused by product application and styling techniques. What I'm gently trying to tell you is you probably caused this type of frizz. And I know that because I've done it multiple times myself. The good news is it's a really nice, quick and easy one to fix. How to identify it. This kind of frizz shows up during the styling routine or straight after. A lot of wavy routines include layering multiple products, creams, mousses, gels, foams, oils, etc., and quite a lot of manipulation. Think scrunching, brush styling, raking, glazing, you get the picture. And because frizz is essentially our hair cuticle being roughened up and lifted, all that product application and manipulation can actually disrupt your wave pattern rather than enhance it. Solution. If you do want an easy, natural enhancement to your wavy hair with a lot less frizz, I think you might like to try this technique instead. I call it my bend and twist technique. I'd actually begin with the tip that I mentioned in the dryness frizz section. Apply a lightweight leave-in conditioner and then follow that up with an oil. If you then want more of a hold, I would add the hold product after you have sealed the hair cuticles with an oil or serum. Then brush the hair so everything is nice and smooth and you can't see any frizz. I have a centre parting, so I divide my hair in 2 straight down the middle, but you could just do this wherever your parting is. I take one large section of hair, smooth it down again, and then hold it at the very tip. You're then going to twist and bend the hair back on itself, working upwards towards your scalp. Once you get to the scalp, I give a very gentle squeeze and then just very carefully release my hair. I repeat that exact same process on the other side, and then I will either let my hair air dry or I will gently diffuse dry on a low speed setting. If you would like a bit more detail, I'll link a video above. It's my air dry routine and I show the technique in much more detail. So you may want to go and watch that later. One other small thing that I do think makes a big difference when it comes to technique frizz is product application. If you're just quickly spritzing or glazing the top of your hair, you are definitely going to be missing out whole sections, which then could end up being frizzier. I don't want to spend loads of time doing this, but what I will do is just lift my hair up in sections, spray leave-in conditioner underneath, then on top, and then take a wide tooth comb or a tangled teaser and brush it through. That way I find I just get a much more even spread of leave-in conditioner, and then if I'm using it, which pretty much I am every single time I style my hair, an oil. Okay, very briefly, before we get to the next type of frizz, I am going to ask a small favour. And my friend V has said that I should do this, and this is what she messaged me. If your audience has a few people like me, we are very happy to help you get exposure. We're not as tech savvy as the young'uns, so we need a little guidance. This was her advice to me because she has been hyping, I don't even know what it means, my videos. So I looked into it. There is possibly somewhere on either your phone or the screen that you are watching me on, if there is a little button that says hype and you don't mind doing it, would you click on it please? Apparently it's YouTube's new thing. Like, I'm not sure why we need another thing. We've got thumbs and subscriber numbers and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, V told me to tell you that. Thank you. I hate doing this stuff. It feels so awkward. I just want to have a chat, you know? Have I gone pink? Probably. Okay, next type of frizz. Frizz type number 3, environmental frizz. Oh, I think this might be the most frustrating one because you could be having an absolute great hair day and then you step outside.
You want to go outside?
How to identify it. Humidity can make your hair swell and expand. Wind will really roughen up the texture and cause tangles, and rain just, well, pretty much disrupts everything. And let's face it, this one's really tricky because you don't have any control over it. With this type of frizz, it's not about your wash routine or your styling technique. It's just much more about how you're going to be able to protect your hair from the environment that you're dealing with. Solution. In human conditions, what's that? In humid conditions, I definitely lean much more towards natural wave enhancement, low manipulation, and generally probably air drying. Once again, it's really important to try and lock that moisture into your hair, so the leave-in conditioner and oil will also help create a barrier, meaning that your hair isn't seeking moisture from the environment. If it's windy, I'd recommend protecting your hair. So a hat is definitely a great option, or a nice protective hairstyle, something like a loose plait. It's going to really help to reduce the amount of tangles and stop your hair from getting really roughened up. And honestly, if you get caught out in the rain, it's just one of those things. I do, however, always take Olaplex No. 7 bonding oil with me because it's very bag friendly. It's about this size. And it does help to smooth things down and add a little bit of shine. So if I got caught out in the rain, I would just apply a little bit of that and hope for the best. Frizz type number 4, damage. This type of frizz is caused by damage to the outer layer of our hair, the hair cuticle. And when that is lifted or worn down or missing because of heat styling, chemical treatments, brushing, environmental factors, our hair becomes more porous, even less efficient at holding onto moisture, and starts to look really fuzzy or fried. There's a helicopter going over. I'm just going to wait for that to buzz off. Oh, that should have been a wink. Oh, apparently I can't wink. I didn't know that. How to identify it. To identify this type of frizz, you're looking out for broken, blunt, shorter ends poking through the mid-lengths. Also split ends, so if you look at the very end of your hair and you're seeing a V shape, that's a sign of a split end, and that can travel all the way up the hair shaft. Your hair will probably feel really rough or straw-like. When mine was at its most damaged, it had this weird candy floss-like texture. And if you're still not sure, take a single strand of hair when it's wet, say just when you're in the shower, and gently pull. If it instantly snaps, that is definitely a sign of damage. Or perhaps even sometimes if it will really, really stretch out, a bit like chewing gum, but then as you release it, it stays like that. It's not able to kind of go back to its original structure. Solution. Now this is definitely a bigger one to tackle. And it does take time, because ultimately the best thing you can do for your hair is to stop the damaging behaviour and grow out the damage. So once you've stopped doing the damage, the first thing I would recommend is prioritising bond repair. Using products like K18, Apres, Olaplex on a regular basis will really help to improve the structure, the texture and the feel of your hair. Protein treatments also play an important role. They'll help to improve elasticity, overall strength and manageability of your hair. My absolute favourite is Evo's Main Attention, hands down the best protein treatment I've ever used. However, a slightly more budget-friendly option would be Eliza Becker's Collagen Sur 100. And because of course damaged hair is also really struggling to retain moisture, I would take the same approach as if you were tackling dryness frizz, layering hydration and sealing it in. I do have a much more in-depth video, deep dive into bond repair, so if damage is something that you are trying to tackle at the moment, I'll link that above for you. Frizz type number 5, new growth frizz. I actually think that this type of frizz is a good thing. I know. Stay with me though, I have my reasons. Around 40 to 50% of women experience some kind of hair loss or thinning during perimenopause and menopause. So for me, seeing new hair growth feels genuinely positive. And honestly, even if you're not at that stage of life, I think being aware that this is something that could happen can only be a helpful thing. How to identify it? As new hair grows in, it's shorter, it tends to be a little bit more wiry, particularly if it's grey, and a stronger wave pattern. So it tends to stick up all over the place. You'll usually notice this type of frizz around the roots, hairline and crown of your head. And yeah, if you've got greys coming through, they're going to be even more noticeable because they do tend to be on the coarser side. So if you're seeing this, please don't worry, it's not damaged. If the ends are tapered, that is new hair growth. Solution. Now this is not something that you can fix in the same way as the other types of frizz, but you definitely can manage it. There's a theme here, keeping hair well moisturised will definitely keep it on the smoother side. And just applying an extra little bit of oil in those areas, I find helps to really smooth, soften and kind of blend those hairs in with the rest. If you do want a really polished finish, a good way to achieve this is using hairspray. It really helps to tame flyaways. To apply it, I'll either really generously spray onto a wide tooth comb and then just brush through my hair. This I find helps to smooth out new growth all over. Whereas if I have a really stubborn bit, I'll spray it directly onto the roots and then smooth over with my hands. But for me, honestly, sometimes a little bit of texture I don't think is a bad thing, and it's just a sign of healthy growing hair. If you want to go a little bit deeper into how to prevent damage and keep your hair nice and healthy, you may enjoy watching this video next. Thank you as always for being here. Take care, have a lovely day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.